for permanent residents in the late 1970s. Tasha soon hooked up with the famed Anguillian musician Clement Banky Banks and was invited to join Banky's Roots and Herbs around the time that the group was working on their second album. Tasha then became the lead Anguillian drummer to play with Banky and the Roots and Herbs for several years, drumming for most of the live shows and performances of the group in those early years. In addition to the Roots and Herbs, Tasha also played with the Artells, Annie and Terry Harrigan's band, Kingsley and the Ultradites, Kenneth Maynard, North Sound Brass Steel Orchestra, Mad Squad, and many of the local bands of the time. Tasha not only played drums, but percussions as well, especially the congo and timbales. Though not an active drummer as he used to be in years past, due to having fallen seriously ill about 3 years ago, Tasha still hits a little drums now and again. Almost fully recovered now, though, he is diligently rebuilding his muscles and ligament strength. As Tasha knows, he was born to drum, and few activities bring him as much joy as helping to create music through his drumming. Please give him another round of applause.
Love, everyone. Love. Love and respect, yeah. Love and respect.
Thank you.
Everyone?
Yes. Mr. John Benjamin. Though Benjamin left home for England to study theology in the Anglican ministry, he eventually switched to law, and over the years has made great strides in his career as he is the founder and head of Caribbean Jewish Chambers, and also created and is the managing director of Benjamin Company Services and Cube Credit Services Limited. His love of things Anguillian is an inspiration. Benjamin was the chairman of the Anguilla Tourist Board from 2007 to 2010, past president of the Anguilla Chamber of Commerce, co-founder and president of the Anguilla Bar Association from 1986 to 1990, and again in 2002. Past president of Rotary International, the Anguilla Charter, or chapter. Past president and founder of Anguilla Financial Services. Past chairman of the Anguilla Summer Festival Committee. Past president of the Anguilla Lawn Tennis Association. Past president of the Anguilla Football Association, and is presently a member of the Anguilla Constitution Committee, Anguilla Financial Services, and the Anguilla Hotel and Tourism Association. Benjamin maintains an in-depth knowledge of the business community and cultural scenes on the island and continues to play a role in its development, not only through his presidency roles in various associations, but also by being the producer and host of the weekly national radio program, Real Talk. This radio program covers varying public interest topics and features prominent guests ranging from government officials, business and civil leaders, and citizen activists. The integrity of Benjamin's radio program was upheld in London in the Privy Council in the landmark case of Benjamin et al. Versus the Honorable Minister of Information and Broadcasting et al., Privy Council Appeal number 2 of 1992. Mr. Benjamin is not a newcomer to the culture of Carnival, having previously served with distinction in this capacity in Anguilla. He brought a good deal of experience, having been a promoter of festivals in Birmingham, England, and a founding member of the Notting Hill Carnival in West London to Anguilla's Summer Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Benjamin. Please give him another round. As you know, we had Mr. Felix Fleming in the theater arts. Born on French St. Martin to Anguillian parents, Fleming was brought to Anguilla at 3.5 years of age, where he was raised by a loving grandmother and many other family members in Mount Fortune, East End. His childhood was as normal as it would have been for any child of that period. However, being an only child and the first grandchild of the family, young Fleming found that most of the work around the house, such as picking firewood, bringing water, tending the cows, sheep, goats, and pigs, were all thrust upon him. These daily chores before and after school also included running all errands as well as cleaning the house and the yard. He was one of the few children of that time who who did not have to do any work in the ground. School and learning was always fun, But as he grew older, school became less challenging, and he was soon given the task of running most of the school's errands as well. Some who also grew up in that era may say he was different. A few close friends and neighbors may even say he was a bad child. Let's just say that most of the folk tales of East End at that time would have been written with Felix as their main character. That said, Felix got into theater at an early age, mentored by his father, who was always into theatrical performances and productions in his neighborhood and wherever life took him. Felix moved to St. Thomas, USVI in 1958, where he attended the then College of the Virgin Islands for some while. He then formed a dance band, the Flamingos, with several other Anguillians, and later started the Sunshine Theatre, where it functioned for many years, producing his own plays as well as many others. He was a founding member of the STRAW, Straw Players, the VI, Virgin Islands Players, and the Richold Center for the Arts Repertory Theatre Company at the University of the USVI. On his return home, he started the Sunshine Theatre in Anguilla and St. Martin, sharing his work by teaching theatre to the wider community. He has conducted many theatre workshops and seminars on both islands. He has also conducted drama classes for Kingdom Expressions and has tutored at the Foundation for Victorious Living. He has written many plays, including The Unrehearsed Bank Robbery, The Kid is Back in Town, Yes, We Have No Bananas Today, Witness for the Accused, In the Beginning, Black Voices, Somebody Help Me Please, Shelter from the Storm, Till Death Do Us, as well as his award-winning Love Thy Neighbor, and numerous winning theatrical stage competition pieces around the Caribbean. He has graced many stages around the world, acting or directing. In 2006, he headed and directed Sunshine Theatre at the 50th anniversary of Ghana's independence with a play entitled Queen Kosiah. Fleming's writings are echoed by many students, politicians, chief ministers, and presidents around the Caribbean. Fleming and his theater company conducts 3 major productions annually, as well as an award-giving banquet on the first Saturday of Friday and a Black History Month celebration, on the first Saturday of February, and a Black History Month celebration on the last Saturday of February. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Felix Fleming again. Thank you. And finally, but certainly by no means least, Mrs. Irenee Edwards. Irenee is the second of 4 children born on the French island of Guadeloupe to Anguillian parents Millard and Clarinda Richardson. She was first introduced to handicraft by her mother at the age of 7. At age 16, Irenee and her parents, 2 sisters and a brother, migrated to Anguilla. In those days, gaining placement at the secondary school at 16 and coping with English as a second language had proven to be a challenge for Irenee. So her mother seized that opportunity to turn her quandary into an aspiration. Clarinda equipped her daughter with all the necessary skills needed to become a self-sufficient and independent citizen. Most of the handicrafts she now boasts of today were a result of her mother's teaching, and a few were introduced and developed with the guidance of the late teacher Iris Hodge. Irenee's productions include sewing, knitting, crocheting, blackwork, cross-stitch, Brazilian embroidery, and most prominently, hardango. She's a perfect example of a true and natural homemaker and can be regarded as one of the most devoted on Anguilla. She did not have a career, but this entrepreneur, with the use of her skilled and gifted hands, continues to make history on Anguilla with her culinary, gardening, and craft skills. Her array of handicraft, often described by others as masterpieces, a touch of class, or paintings with needle and thread, always leaves the viewers or buyers very enthralled. From the colorful schemes to creativity, originality, and finesse, These exhibits have earned Irene much publicity and fame in Anguilla, as well as the wider Caribbean, USA, and Europe. She is always eager to participate in an exhibition and with confidence would identify the piece of work that will receive first place or a prize before judging is completed. She refers to her handicrafts as extraordinary, a dying art, an heirloom, or a prized possession. Every 2 years, between the months of February and March, Irene displays her handicrafts at art galleries or at Wallblake House in the Valley. The displays depict some aspect of nature in its splendor, animals, fruits, or flowers. Apart from her busy schedule, Irene conducts Hardanger classes, which are held twice a week for 6 to 8 weeks. When asked where she finds the time to complete her daily chores and crafts, the response is simple. Her day begins at 4:30 with devotions, morning walks, watering and weeding the garden, and then the house chores. Much time is devoted to the craft between the cooking and baking when her chores are completed. Devoting time to a pattern can take up to 8 or more hours per day for weeks and months, and this depends on the difficulty of the pattern, the size, or the urgency to complete for a specific date. Irene believes that one must have a passion, love, patience, and dedication to do this type of work. She has spent more than 60 years with these intense undertakings and remains committed and focused, no matter how much concentration is needed to complete or how challenging the piece may be. She's a real steward of time. Diligent and conscientious are the attributes that defines her. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Ms. Irene Edwards.
Good night, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shay Shay, and the name of this song is It Right? We have changed, no, we're not the same. Morality has all but gone down the drain. Our social values are not like they were before. A foreign people with a foreign culture. Our hope and future will depend on our children. So we have to know how to protect and nurture them. Cultivate a conscience so they can know right from wrong. So we can steer this country in the right direction. Let's lay up and watch it as the state of morals decline. Like our social conscience is abandoned and left behind. Our present behavior needs a deep examination. So to every Anguillian, I'm asking this one question. Tell me, young men shooting up each other, engaging in a senseless war. Is it right? Is it right? Who owns the east and who owns the west? Who owns the guns and who shoot the best? Is it right? Is it right? You don't want to help the police, yet you expect them to keep the peace. Is it right? You don't care until it's your family who gets injured seriously. Is it right? Is it right? I'll make this suggestion to my fellow Anguillians before you take action selfishly. Ask yourself the question, is it right for my country? And if no is the answer, is it right for my country? Make a change for our future, my sweet Anguilla. my seas. My Angular is not where it wants to be. Father of the nation, like we have to beg you come. Like we need to start a moral revolution. We must read the Bible and do what the good books say. So let temptation cause you to go astray. To you, our leaders with power and authority, you have a serious moral responsibility. If something is moral, then it should be perceived as fair. Benefit the masses, represent justice far and near. Pure positive actions is what we should be striving for. For every man, woman, and child here in Anguilla. Am I lying? So true. Young people out there making children with no proper planning for them. Is it right? Is it right? Many end up in hospital from drug addiction and alcohol. Is it right? Is it right? Adventurous and promiscuous, risking their lives, it's so dangerous. Is it right? Is it right? Many of them don't utter a prayer at all, they heed in the master's call. Is it right? Is it right? I'll make this suggestion to my fellow Anguillians before you take action selfishly. Ask yourself the question, is it right for my country? And if no is the answer, is it right for my country? Make a change for our future, my sweet Anguilla. Mother England for all the nonsense and violence going on. Some may say her actions to minimally support was a method to control and stifle we growth. This may have assisted in the wave of social problems due to the lack of sufficient social programs. Maladministration from parents to governments will surely have an indirect influence. That's why when you voted for some people to run this land, ensure that they have a comprehensive social plan to protect the people, treat them right whether rich or poor. Equal rights for all and justice forevermore. You agree? Civil servants making small money, still they're cutting with salary. Is it right? Is it right? Some getting paid and some getting none. Some getting refund. Is it right? Is it right? Many elections don't come and gone, but still they can fix the constitution. Is it right? Is it right? Politicians lying to get a vote, promises they promote. Is it right? Is it right? I'll make this suggestion to my fellow Anguillians before you take action selfishly. Ask yourself the question, is it right for my country? And if no is the answer, is it right for my country? Make a change for our future, my sweet Anguilla.
Thank you, Sharina. Not only was this young lady a reigning Miss Anguilla, but she was also the Soca Monarch of Anguilla. Very talented. Let's give her another round of applause. I would now like to call on Mr. Bren Rumney to give the closing remarks. Let's welcome him.
Happy Heroes and Heroines Day to everyone. And a special congratulations to our honorees. We're indeed thankful for the opportunity to say thank you in a very public way. And I pray that you've enjoyed your evening. And just to let you know, it is not over. When I am completed with my remarks,